So it's apparently actually our last episode right now. Trust me, I didn't believe it either. But we're here, we're doing it, and if we end up ugly crying, my final wish as SportsLine host is for you all to make our crying faces go more viral than Kim Kardashian's. We could probably make more money off of that than in an entry-level anchoring job anyway. Hello, I'm Siobhan Nolan.
And I'm Libby Gilliland. We all waited until the last second to write this script because writing the script means that the show is happening, and this can't be happening. Sports. The show's about sports, not our feelings. Okay, today's a little bit about our feelings, but still some about sports, so definitely keep watching. You're watching LaSalle TV's home for Explorer Athletics, SportsLine.
Welcome to SportsLine. The sports we're sporting this week, and you better believe we're going to recap all of them coming up soon.
And later, I think you all get the memo that me and Siobhan are leaving, but thankfully the show will go on. Later today, newly recruited SportsLine hosts Meghan and Charlie flip the script and sit down with Siobhan and I to chat about our LaSalle TV experience.
But first, let's take a look at our SportsLine top 3.
One, LaSalle's women's soccer and men's golf programs have topped all Atlantic 10 programs in academic progress rate. Women's soccer earned a near perfect score of 998, while men's golf scored a 992. Along with this, women's and men's cross country, men's soccer, and men's track and field performed above the national APR average in their respective sports.
Number 2, men's rowing saw 2 boats move up in the top 25 national rankings this week. The Explorers 2V boat is now ranked 17th in the country, while the Varsity 8+ boat rose to 21st in the country.
Number 3, women's and men's rowing christened 2 new boats this week in honor of the philanthropy of Larry Barron, class of '93. The men's Vespoli 8+ boat was named after the L Train, after Explorers men's basketball legend Lionel Simmons. The second boat was named Southwest Philly Floater, named after the iconic shot by men's basketball player Ty Garland during the 2013 NCAA National Tournament.
I love the names of the new rowing boats. I think it's really funny that they named one the Southwest Philly Floater, because it's just, we're never going to let that go. Until LaSalle appears in March Madness again, we're never going to let that one go.
That's true. Go rowing. I mean, I think it's definitely because they have new boats that they perform so well. I mean, they're nationally ranked once again and moving up those rankings. So very, very impressive for rowing. And they still have some work to do this season, so nothing but high hopes for them.
Yeah, and we have some sports performing well in the classroom. Having men's golf and women's soccer up there in the APR with some top schools in the country, like Duquesne was up there, and having a lot of sports perform above average, but to have those 2 sports in first place amongst all the Division I schools in the country is really promising to see that we're good students and athletes.
Yeah, it's incredible when we talk all the time about how important and how difficult it is to balance academics with athletics, so hats off to them.
And that's it for the top 3. Now let's see how our teams did in this week's recaps. Track and field partook in 6 events in the Penn Relays, where Elle Mancini got the Explorers off to a scorching start. The graduate student placed 2nd overall in the college women's 5K, where she also set a new school record. Sister Liz Mancini placed 6th in the same event, while the women's 4x100 meter relay team of Jaya Marshall, Aaliyah Allen, Lanice Green, and Navia Davis collected a silver medal in their event. On the men's side, David Butts took 9th overall in the men's 3K steeplechase, and Ibrahim Kadir took 37th place in the college men's 5K.
Water polo took on LIU in the MAC championship last week. It was an evenly matched game the whole way, with neither team scoring until 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in the first quarter. Back-to-back goals by Madeline Corper and Sophie Appler gave LaSalle a 2-1 lead going into the second quarter. After a quick goal by the Sharks, the 2 teams would go back and forth until halftime, with goals by Appler, Corper, and Co. giving the Explorers a 5-4 halftime lead. Another low-scoring period would send the game into the fourth quarter tied 5-5, following an LIU goal with just 3 minutes left. The Sharks would come out hot in the fourth period, scoring 4 straight goals to make it 9-5 game. With 6 seconds left in the game, LaSalle would cut the lead to 3 goals with a goal by Casey Malone, ending the game with a final score of 9-6.
Women's rowing took on the Kelly Cup this past Saturday, taking home 2 silver and a bronze medal. The Explorers' second varsity 8+ boat, coxswained by Arya Singh, finished second with a time of 6 minutes and 33.3 seconds, beating out 2 of Drexel's boats. The Explorers' varsity 4+ boat, coxswained by Sam Ojim, also finished second with a time of 7 minutes and 23 seconds, beating out St. Joe's. The Explorers then went on to claim a bronze medal with a time of 6 minutes and 30.2 seconds, thanks to their varsity 8+ boat, coxswained by Marissa Paul. Lastly, the Explorers' second varsity 4+ boat came in fourth with a time of 8 minutes and 11.3 seconds, respectively.
Men's golf completed their season last weekend at the A10 Championships hosted by Reunion Golf Club in Orlando. On day 1, freshman Anthony Garcia led the team, carding 1 over with 9s of 36 and 37, landing him 5 shots off the lead. Senior Nikita Romanov was close behind in at 3 over par. Kevin Leiden ended the day at 4 over, while Alex Geekus and Carson Rush struggled a bit on day 1, shooting 11 over. Day 2 would be a similar story with the team finishing at 19 over par. Garcia shot 5 over while Romanov and Geekus were 7 over. Leiden shot 82 to round out day 2 scoring, and the Explorers headed into the final day of competition. A third day of 19 over landed the men's team in a 10th place finish overall. After shooting 4 over on day 3, Garcia found himself at 10 over for the tournament and placed 20th overall, the best A10 finish in the program since 2018. Romanov also shot 4 over on the day and closed the event at 11 over in total. The event finished 24th overall. His performance of 7 under on par 5s was best in the field. Geekus ended the event at 18 over and in 40th place, while Leiden and Rush finished at 20 and 27 over, taking 44th and 51st respectively.
On Saturday, lacrosse competed in their final game of the season and honored their seniors at McCarthy Stadium with a matchup against Davidson. In the first quarter, 1 goal would be the outcome after a battle of defense on both sides, with senior Julia Delarada having 2 saves before the end of the quarter. Davidson went on a 3-0 run before Alana Lathan would score her 20th goal of the year to put LaSalle on the board 4-1. Maddie Henderson and Claudia Steinmetz would also add goals in the third quarter for the Explorers, but it wouldn't be enough, and the game would end with a 16-3 LaSalle loss to end their season. So Penn Relays happened for track and field, a very big event for them. It's not their final one of the season, but it's definitely one of the bigger ones on the schedule. So it's really cool that we got to see Elle Mancini break a school record, take a silver medal. But I know they only competed in 6 events, but I really, again, thought that track and field would place a little higher than they did. I know a lot of schools participated, it's a lot of people, and they did finish well for the amount of people running in the fields, but I thought it was a little strange that we only got a few medals in the Penn Relays.
Yeah, definitely an event that we all look forward to and seeing how our track and field team does, but you know, Siobhan, I just want to think that they are saving it for A10s.
Yes.
You know, they're going to be just fine. They're still breaking records. I mean, we say it every single week. It continues to happen, and I think they're going to have a huge A10 tournament, and maybe this gives them a little bit of confidence, maybe some of those people who didn't perform exactly as they wanted to kind of going forward.
And speaking of big tournaments, men's golf had a really good outing to kind of wrap up their season. A lot of names that we've seen before, and they've really improved in the overall program history, so that's also really promising to see.
Yeah, absolutely, and I want to shout out the seniors. Nikita Romanov had a really good A10 championship. This was his 4th one. He's played every year and played well every year, so he's been a really key piece to this program and just an incredible career overall. Carson Rush struggled a little bit in this final event, but the nerves and the excitement is definitely there at an A10 championship, so shout out to him for an incredible LaSalle career as well. You've got the freshmen who are really stepping up this year, and they're going to be excellent sophomores and, you know, going forward. So good job, men's golf.
Yeah, we're definitely excited to see where they go next, and we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, your new hosts, Charlie Hugg and Megan Cooney, interview Libby and I.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. As our time on SportsLine comes to an end, we wanted to take some time to chat with upcoming hosts Charlie and Meghan. Take a look.
Hi, and welcome to our first official SportsLine interview. I'm Meghan Cooney.
And I'm Charlie Hug.
And today we got the chance to sit down with our lovely current producers, Libby and Siobhan. Thank you for sitting down with us.
Of course.
So we just wanted to sit down and kind of talk to you guys about your experience here on SportsLine, what it's been like for you guys. So how did you both get your start on SportsLine?
Well, in February 2020, I filled in for one of the co-hosts at the time. Her name is Gia. I had been doing crew and they asked me if I wanted to fill in for her, and I said yes. And I was very, very nervous, but I think I did an okay job, and they asked me to come back and be a co-host and producer for the fall semester. So that was my foray into SportsLine.
Yeah, I started in 2020, right after COVID. I stood in the back with Jamie, our producer, who's in my sorority, who brought me on and did prompter for a lot of shows, and that was fun. And then eventually Tyler Small graduated a semester early, so I stepped in, and I've been on desk ever since.
So, as you just mentioned, you started during COVID. You had just happened to start after. Just in general, what were the biggest challenges you guys have faced while doing the show?
I remember when LaSalle officially was completely online, Tyler and I had to figure out how to do the show completely over Zoom and with no sports, because LaSalle sports, it was when the 7 teams had gotten cut from, our program overall, and then obviously no one was able to play sports when their seasons were supposed to. So just trying to figure out how to make a show completely online and then with no real sports to talk about was interesting. It was very interesting.
Yeah, thankfully I joined after that point. Shout out to you guys for doing all that. That was very impressive. But I think the biggest challenge is just getting everything prepped for Thursdays. There's so much behind the scenes work that goes into it, and we thank all of our crew, and especially you guys, for helping us write, because we really could not do it without you. Setting up interviews is a headache. Being an athlete, I understand how tough schedules are and things like that. So, you got to work with athletics and with the athlete to set things up on a time that works for us too. So it's a lot, but we do our best to get athletes on here each week.
Yeah, you guys do an amazing job, so we thank you for that, because I know that has been a headache in the past. And Libby, you mentioned you play a sport, you're an athlete yourself. How did you manage playing a sport and while also reporting on sports here at LaSalle?
Yeah, it's a lot. Practice and everything, and then coming back for a show, making sure that I'm always here. And I definitely missed a couple with traveling and everything, but if anything, I think it really helped. You can understand when you're interviewing an athlete what their day-to-day is like, and understand their schedule and how tough it is to manage everyday life academics with being an athlete. And of course, I know a lot about golf, so I can provide some extra insight on that as well. So it's definitely been a benefit.
And so for both of us being behind the scenes for this past year, seeing a lot of shows, we've seen a lot of great moments. What have been your guys' favorite memories of being on SportsLine?
Favorite memories? I don't have a specific one. Thursday has become like a really favorite day of the week for me, just because I love being able to come down here. I love doing interviews. I just love the whole process of writing the script, putting the show together, and then seeing it come to life on Thursday. So I'm definitely gonna miss that.
Yeah, when that teaser hits on the prompter, it's like go time, and there's a feeling that there's no feeling like it. I mean, it's so much fun, and just to ad lib with Siobhan every week and talk about whatever the heck we have to talk about.
We make it work.
It's a ton of fun, and throwing the paper at the camera. I don't know if anybody watches that far in the show, but it's a fun thing that we do at the end that we always get a kick out of.
Yeah, it's like those little things that we do that kind of makes Thursdays. Because I know I've personally started to fall in love with Thursdays too. If I don't come or if I have something to do, I'm like, oh, I missed SportsLine this week. And so it kind of affects what goes on in my week. You mentioned like interviews. I know we talked about interviews. Do you guys have a favorite interview that you've done with an athlete or someone you've talked to?
I really have enjoyed the soccer interviews I've done just because that's my favorite sport. So I can talk about it a lot, and a lot of the athletes, the soccer athletes that we've interviewed, have just been really willing to talk and sit down with us and given us really good interviews. So those are definitely my favorite.
Yeah, I would say the Josh Nickelberry interview because it was so hard to get. It took forever, but it was a great interview. It was really cool because we haven't had a men's basketball player on SportsLine in so long. So it was definitely my favorite from this year. And all the golfers, of course, you know, I get to interview my teammates, which is the coolest feeling in the world, to give them that opportunity and get to talk about the team with them on a platform like this.
Now, I hate to keep bringing it up, but this is your guys' last show. So with that being said, what's the one thing you're going to miss after SportsLine?
I'm just really going to miss the people, because that's what's made this so amazing for me. It was very hard to say goodbye to Tyler and then Jamie and Isaiah in the spring. It's going to be very hard to say goodbye to Libby. But I've just been so lucky that we've been surrounded by so many great people that want to help out, and that they've made this show what it is for me. And I just hope that, you know, the show that we've put together is just as amazing for them. So definitely going to miss the people.
Yeah, absolutely, the people. I mean, this crew is incredible. Tanya has been the most amazing human in the world to put this all together. She's really the glue of the whole station. That is going to be a tough goodbye. And the ability to just to share our thoughts on LaSalle sports and keep up with LaSalle sports, but giving the athletes a platform to talk about their experience as well with our interviews, I think is really something unique that we do, and a really cool experience that I'll miss.
Yeah, for sure. You guys have great careers ahead of you, and I'm so excited for you guys. What are you looking forward to, like, in your future careers, leaving SportsLine, going out into the big bad world?
I'm definitely excited to stay in sports and do a lot of similar things to what I do here, and I'm very grateful that I've had the experience to be on desk and do what I do and be able to translate that into a professional career. So hopefully you keep seeing me doing sports after I graduate.
Yeah, I get to stay in golf, which is a dream of mine. I think if freshman year Libby could see where I am now, she'd be really, really proud. So very cool that I have a job lined up, and all the experiences that I have here have really allowed me to get that position. I've grown so much, and so I'm really excited about maybe not a 9-to-5, but it's still a cool experience and in a position that I've dreamed about having for a long time.
Yeah. So I think it goes without saying that this has really got you guys ready for the outside world, which is really cool, especially for us getting into it. Something exciting to look forward to. Yeah. With that being said, do you have any advice for us taking over? We got big shoes to fill.
My biggest advice would just be make it your own. Like, don't try to replicate anything that anyone else has done. Have fun with it. Please continue writing funny teasers, because I've had so many people come up to me and say, I love SportsLine's teasers, like that's what makes me want to watch the show. But yeah, just enjoy it, appreciate all the time, because it goes fast. I never thought that this day would come, but yeah, just definitely enjoy every moment of it, because it's definitely going to be a favorite memory from LaSalle when you guys graduate.
Yeah, plan and keep planning. Have that script out early, get your writers ready to go, and get your interviews set up earlier in the week so you don't have to stress about it on Thursdays. But yeah, just have fun with it. When that light goes on the camera, just enjoy that time, because you're really gonna miss it when it ends.
Oh my God, I can't believe you guys are leaving those. So, oh my God. Well, thank you for the advice. I really appreciate it. Like Charlie said, we have some really pretty big shoes to fill. So I know we talked about going like in your future careers. Is there anything specific that you learned from being a SportsLine producer, being here at LaSalle TV, that you think has prepared you for your future careers and jobs in sports?
Definitely a big shout out to Tanya for having us do behind the scenes stuff too, because as I've learned, that's very valuable, even if you want to be on-air talent, to know how to write, to know how to contact administrators and do interviews and do audio, video, whatever. That's really valuable too. So the fact that we've been able to be so well-rounded so early on, because there are some schools where you can't even go in the TV studio until you're like a sophomore or junior. So I'm just really grateful that we've been able to learn every part of putting on a show. Yeah,
I mean, I definitely agree with Siobhan. overall, like, having fun with it, and I completely forgot the question. I'm not gonna lie, I just blacked out.
What happened?
Literally just how LaSalle prepared you.
Oh, how LaSalle prepared me. A lot. Well, clearly I'm not prepared there. We're usually not the one answering.
I know. It's hard. It's a lot. I get why people are nervous now.
Just professionalism, being able to kind of roll with the punches, and when we have everything pile up on a Thursday, getting all of that done in one day is a lot. But yeah, emailing and the show really helped me find my voice in reporting and in writing. So I'm really grateful for that. I think all around, just everything that we work on in the studio, there's so many factors to it that really help you out in the real world.
Yeah, definitely. I know we can't wait to get in there and experience, and like I said, again, big shoes to fill, but it is weird for us being on this side of the desk, so trust me, I get it. But thank you so much, guys, for sitting down with us. We really appreciate it. And now we're going to go back to, again, Siobhan and Libby, but on this side of the desk.
We're going to take one last break, and when we come back, Libby and I have special messages to close out our last SportsLine show. So LaSalle TV was the first place on this campus where I really felt like I belonged, and many times it was the only place. And I remember being so stunned and elated when I was asked to fill in as a co-host for Gia Lancey in February 2020. I went out shopping for a whole new outfit to wear on air. And I just knew that sitting on camera and talking about sports was truly my life's purpose. And I have achieved so much in my time at LaSalle, and that is all because of the people here. Tanya, thank you for taking in a clueless little freshman, having faith in me, and nurturing me into the person and broadcaster that I am today. Thank you to Tyler Small, Isaiah Clark, and Jamie Smith for believing in my potential and wanting me to take over co-hosting in 2020. Thank you to our amazing crew, Aiden for being the most amazing prompter operator, Ange for making truly incredible graphics, Meghan and Charlie for not running for the hills after seeing the chaos that is this show, so much so that they're taking over next year. Libby for being the most wonderful co-host. Thank you for everything you do to make this show ready to go on Thursdays, the golf expertise, dealing with athletics, and just being the ray of sunshine that you are. Thank you to anyone who has ever sat down for an interview, showed up to do crew, or tuned into the show, even if it was just for the teasers. You are the reason this show has grown into the beautiful thing that it has become, and there will never be words to properly express how thankful I am for that. This show and everyone involved truly saved my life, and that is a debt that I will never be able to repay, but I will work my butt off every day to do my best. So from the bottom of my heart, I love you all, and thank you.
As I watched Tyler give his goodbye speech last year, I stood behind the camera thinking, my speech is so far away, and my excitement to become a host on this show overshadowed any thought of me ever graduating. Well, here we are. There's a few minutes left in this show, and I'm in shock because I really don't want it to be over. We may joke around, act like all we do is talk about sports sometimes, but believe it or not, putting a show together is a lot of work. This show never ends. There's always prep and planning. It takes a village. I may be biased, but we have the absolute best crew, and your graphics are stunning. Megan, you are the best fill-in host and always down to do anything that you need and help out wherever needed. Aiden, you are the most amazing on prompter, making sure our size million font stays on the screen. Thank you all. Siobhan, the best host, thank you for trusting me to be your co-host and guiding me through this entire experience. Thank you for knowing about soccer so I don't have to say anything. We are a great team, and I will miss our ad-libs and our time together so much. The first time I walked into the studio, I was terrified. But deep down, I was so excited because even though it freaked me out, I knew it was exactly where I was supposed to be. The studio has grown me as a human, personally, professionally. I am forever in debt to LaSalle TV for giving me my voice and for making me the person that I am today. When I walked in these doors, Tanya took me in and she guided me, and she didn't let me take no for an answer when it was my time to step up into this role. Moving from Kentucky to Philly was terrifying, but this building made me feel so safe, and I have Tanya to thank for that. Tanya, thank you for being my second mom, for answering my millions of texts and calls and emails. Thank you for guiding me, for keeping the studio up and running, and for pushing me to be my best every day. The show is in the best hands, and Charlie and Meghan, thank you for stepping up and keeping this show that means so much to all of us running. As I leave, I will never forget the experience that I've had here, and I will forever miss being here on Thursdays. I love you all.
So people probably couldn't understand half of what I said, so sorry about that. Just walking down here, I started tearing up, and then as we started doing the show, I was like, I'm good, this is fine, I'm not gonna cry. Boy, was I wrong about that. You held it together. I'm impressed.
I'm not a crier. I was close. This place just means so much to both of us.
Yeah.
And you can see me like shaking in the interview, and here it's a lot. So we appreciate every single person that watches. We love you all just so much.
And that just about wraps it up for us this week. If you can't make it out to see the Explorers play, be sure to tune in next week or next semester for our coverage. Keep up with this weekend's other sporting events by visiting goexplorers.com.
Also check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/LaSalleTV and on Instagram at SportsLine LTV. We welcome you to send your thoughts and suggestions there.
For our entire SportsLine team, and for the last time, I'm Siobhan Nolan.
And I'm Libby Gilliland. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you at the game.